My first impression of Lake of the Pines campground here at Flambeau River State Park is like many of the campgrounds I've been on, very pretty, but definitely has an insect issue. And I'm not talking about mosquitoes. I'm talking about deer flies, horse flies, whatever you want to call them. Large, fast, aggressive, biting flies that when they bite, it hurts. And it hurts for quite a while after they've bitten you. Normally, those are the type of insects that you just run across randomly. And it sucks when you do, because once they zero in on you, they don't give up. They just keep at you until they get you. I've never seen anything like it. They are everywhere here. And they will literally chase my car. I've noticed that when I come to a stop, for the last 80 miles driving into Wisconsin, whenever I'd come to a stop sign or a yield sign and my car would slow down, all of a sudden I'd have like 3 or 4 of them as I started to accelerate away, where they're just keeping right up with me, coming after my car. And they do that in here in the campground. If I'm under 15 miles an hour, they're right beside me, coming after the car. So I'm going to test a theory here and see. I'm just going to sit in the car for a while. I feel like they might be attracted to movement, and the bigger the object, the more attracted they are to it. Because my car, I would literally have half a dozen coming after the car at the same time. So at any rate, my first impression of the campsite, because of that, was screw this. I'll stay here tonight. And even though I have it reserved for 2 nights, I'm out of here tomorrow. I'll go get a hotel and start making my way towards Chicago. But, we'll see. I'm going to test this theory here. I've seen other people just sitting out in their campsites, wearing normal clothes. And this is no longer for the last 5 weeks. I've been wearing long pants, long shirts, because I've been in chilly, mountainy areas. Well, I think that's over. It's 77 degrees. It seems warm to me. I've become accustomed to cold weather, so right now it seems warm to me. And which means I got to figure out how to sleep with the windows down tonight. I do have some little mosquito nets that go over my doors, so I might end up checking that out tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But I am not going to spend a sweltering night in a mosquito infested forest is one thing. I've kind of gotten used to that, but deerfly infested, no way, man. No freaking way. That is just uncalled for. One here and there, that sucks. Swarms of them everywhere, no freaking way. Yeah, I will get out of here and go find a hotel first thing in the morning, somewhere further south towards Milwaukee. So yeah, I'm going to sit and see what happens, and then try to set up my campsite. Yeah, I've made my decision. I'm not staying at that campsite. If I gotta drive to damn Milwaukee tonight, I'll do it. And get a hotel room. I couldn't even open my door and get out of the car quickly and get back in without 3 or 4 deer flying into my car, which means there's nothing I can do on that campground except sit in my car for 2 days and try to keep away from the deer flies. And then even in my car, I'm going to be harassed by them. Now, just chalking this up as a loss sucks, because I just paid cash for my park vehicle registration, but I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go find a hotel room somewhere and spend the next couple days there. Yeah, there was nothing I'm gonna do in this campground anyway. there's a lake that I don't really want to swim in. There's a river, but it's several miles away. And it's supposed to have like rapids and stuff. But you know what? I've been camping in mountains for the last 5 weeks. I've seen my fair share of waterfalls and rapids that some little ones here in the relative flatlands of Wisconsin are not going to be enough to offset the fact that I'm just getting attacked mercilessly by mosquitoes and deerfly. So, and it's hot. I can't just sit in my car when it's hot, and I can't run my air conditioning for 48 hours straight. So, yep, sorry, central northern Wisconsin, but this ain't for me. I'm out of here. As an experiment, I just monitored my speedometer as I was driving out of the park back there, and up to 20 miles an hour, the deerfly were keeping up with me. Which means that unless you are Usain Bolt, you can't outrun those little devils. Yeah. I don't know how a place as beautiful as Wisconsin could be such a hellscape for deerfly, but I'm telling you, it is. So my 2-day detour to Wausau, Wisconsin is at an end. I abandoned my campsite in north central Wisconsin because that whole part of the state is infested with deer flies, and that's just a bridge too far for me. So I came here, and turns out Wausau is cool little city. 40,000 people, just big enough to have everything you need, but not so big that it's a pain in the ass or overbearing. Nice, seemed like a solidly upper middle class kind of city. I drove all over, didn't really find any bad spots. And, it's got the Wisconsin River running right through the center of it. It's got a ski mountain like 2 miles from downtown. Just a cool city. Kind of glad that I ended up here, and I had a good, restful and productive 2 days in my hotel. I got caught up on some things. So now I'm off to Barberoo, Wisconsin, which is where my grandmother used to go and spend summers on her uncle's farm when she was growing up. She grew up in Milwaukee. So I'm going to go check that out and then get a hotel room about an hour from there. And then tomorrow I have to stop at a federal agency on the way and pick up my National Parks Pass, and then Chicago. So see you down the road. Well, these little towns in Wisconsin definitely have a very distinct feel of mid-America, Americana. They just have that postcard look. And encouragingly, all these shops are occupied by the looks of it. Things seem fairly vibrant. I'm not seeing a bunch of boarded up shops and things like that like I have in a lot of small towns like this along my trip. It looks like, for the most part, small town Wisconsin seems to be doing okay. Yeah, that's encouraging. So I've crossed over the border from Wisconsin into Illinois, and just on my way out the door of Wisconsin, I wanted to say, it's a really pretty state, super pretty. And I really loved Wausau, really cool little city. I could actually envision myself living there. It was that nice. And the people were super nice in Wisconsin. I gotta hand it to them. However, pardon me, two issues. One, deer flies, horse flies. Nothing that Wisconsinites can do about that, but my God, what is the deal? Basically, almost it seems like the whole state's infested with them. Massive amounts of them. Don't get it, never seen it before, wasn't a fan of that. And the second issue is Wisconsin, if not for the fact that Interstate 51 through the middle spine of the state was a really nice road, you would definitely tie with South Carolina for the Golden Pothole Award halfway through my trip for the state with the worst roads. I mean, other than that interstate, virtually every road in Wisconsin that I drove on, and I drove on a lot of them. I mean, I was crisscrossing all over the state for 4 days. Basically just one big pothole, just like driving in a third world country. So, and please don't use the excuse that you have hard winters. You know, I drove all over New York State and all over Ontario, and they have nasty, brutish winters, and they had nice smooth roads. So that's just a matter of neglect. So at any rate, you win the runner-up for the state or province with the worst roads so far on my trip at the halfway point, and we'll revisit that at the conclusion of my trip. But other than that, I really did like Wisconsin. It was a beautiful state and the people were awesome. And do something about your roads.